Good morning, everyone. Oh, we can do better than that. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Oh, there we go. Welcome to Cedar Lane. My name is Adam Scott Graham, your Director of Music Ministries, and we're going to go ahead and get started with hymn 223, Rock of Ages, Let Our Song. Online probably know the words as well, so I hope to hear you singing at home. I hope to hear you singing here. Let's all join in singing 235, Deck the Halls. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. With Elsie Crane, our children's choir director, and Elsie, who's going to be singing with her, your holiday song.
Elsie Crane.
I know.
Elsie Crane, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She's Elsie Town. She's
Elsie Town.
Yeah.
My apologies.
It's always that confusing name.
My bad.
It's okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to give people a chance to sit down a little bit because there's a lot of people milling around. So the chorus of this is pretty catchy, and if you feel like singing along, please go ahead and do so. Are you on? Is yours on?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Gather around, girls and boys. It's time to make your joyful noise. Some feel it in the feast after the fast, or the oil lamps everlasting, or the solstice in the wild, or the birth of a baby child.
It's your holiday song.
It's your holiday song.
No one more true or right or
No one true, right or
wrong.
wrong.
Calls our name.
Someone else's does the same. Hallelujah, thank you. So gather around, girls and boys. It's time to raise a holy noise. Some feel it in the drum, or the snare, or the silence of their prayers, or the church bells on the hill, or the harmony of goodwill.
It's your holiday song.
It's your holiday song.
No one more true or right or
No
wrong.
one true, right or wrong.
Calls our name.
Someone else's does the same. Hallelujah, thank you.
For every voice lifted in song.
A sacred place we all belong. A chance to heal this broken world. With every voice and every song of every boy and every girl.
It's your holiday song.
It's your holiday song.
No one more true or right or
No one true,
wrong.
right or wrong.
Calls our name.
Someone else's does the same. Hallelujah, thank you. Hallelujah, thank you.
It's your holiday song.
Hallelujah,
It's your holiday song.
hallelujah,
It's your holiday song.
hallelujah.
It's your holiday song.
Amen, amen. Thank you again to Jenny Crane and to Elsie Town. All right. It's wonderful to see everybody. And we're going to take a second now to go ahead and stand and greet everyone. Go ahead, greet that person in the back that you haven't talked to in a while. Maybe that person over from you. Know that you are welcome here in this space. And let's unite our voices now as we sing, welcome. Welcome, welcome to this place. You're invited to come and take your
Welcome. Welcome, everyone. All are welcome in this space. Thank you, Adam and Jasmine and the choir, and Jenny and Elsie. That was a very rousing, exciting, warm morning this morning. And the cold outside and the warmth in here is just lovely. I am the Reverend Dayna Edwards, and my pronouns are she and her. And welcome to Cedar Lane Unitarian Universalist Church. Whomever you are, whoever you love, whatever your beliefs, gender identity, documentation status, whatever your disability, and wherever you're joining us from, either in person or online, we welcome you this morning. And you are welcome to bring your whole and holy, perfectly imperfect self here this Sunday and every Sunday. And a special welcome to those of you who are new at Cedar Lane this morning. If you're joining us for the first time or you still feel new, please raise your hand or add your name in the chat if you're joining us online, so we can give you a warm Cedar Lane welcome. Any new friends coming this morning? All right, let's give a warm Cedar Lane welcome. You're invited to complete a newcomer form in the chat if you're joining us online. And you're invited to join Reverend Abi after the service in the library to learn more about Unitarian Universalism and Cedar Lane. And our weekly newsletter, our e-news, is a great way to stay updated about all the happenings at Cedar Lane, and it was packed this last Friday. So it comes out every Friday, and you can sign up through the link on our website at cedarlane.org. And our pastoral visitors are an extension of our ministry team here at Cedar Lane, and Barbara Tomar is our pastoral visitor this morning, and she's available to support you in person. And we gather at Cedar Lane in remembrance that our church is situated on the ancestral lands of the Nacotchtank people, part of the Piscataway group of tribes, and on the land on which enslaved African people and their descendants labored and lived without choice or reward. We honor with gratitude the land and the people who have protected it throughout the generations. We gather in gratitude for all who have gone before us, whose love and labor helped to create and sustain the mission and ministry of this religious community. In this spirit we gather, in this spirit we begin.
Good morning. I'm Jessica Sawyer, the worship associate for today's service. My pronouns are she, her. As Jim and Ann Turner come forward to light the chalice, a symbol of our shared faith and gathered community, please share in the chat where you are kindling your chalice from, and please rise in body and or in spirit to share the chalice lighting words. We gather together on this day as fellow sojourners looking for light, for hope, for peace, and for love. We gather as people from many backgrounds, many faiths, many cultures, and many spiritual paths. As we light this chalice, we gather as one body, looking for a message to all of humanity, a message that there is hope, there is peace, there is love, and there is joy.
I'll invite you to remain standing, and we will sing together hymn 243, Jesus Our Brother.
Please be seated. Oops. I think you should hold this.
Oh, Dayna, you want to?
That's okay. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. Is this on? Can you hear me?
Nope.
Michael, may we switch to one of these?
Thank you.
Okay. Yep.
You gotta love technology,
You
right?
can take off your mask.
Oh, I can take off my mask. Okay, good. All right. So, this is our haunting house crew for, 2022, who have been working very hard for the last several weeks on their tradition of making animals, because we're going to take them down at the end of the service. We're going to disappear, but the parents will bring them down to the barn, which we will cram full of warm straw and hay to make a warm, welcoming home for our animals. But first, we would like to hopefully get a little information about our animals, and we can ask the kids to say something. I don't know. Do you want to do that, Abby? Or
You go ahead.
Okay. So, Jolanne, would you like to tell us something? No? Okay. Jolanne has that colorful pig on the far end. Okay. Can you tell us your name and what you made?
My name is Matthew, and I made a mouse. And the mouses, and I made two mouses, and their name is Minnie Mouse. And I made one purple and the other black. And one has a red eye and one has a black.
And I think they're somewhere on the tree. Okay. Two mice. Yep. Okay. Excellent. Okay.
My name is Ron, and I made a dinosaur.
Yep. Anything you like about it? You want to tell us? Okay, a green dinosaur. Okay. Do you want to say anything, Aaron? Do you want to tell us about Aaron? Okay. You want to tell us about Aaron's your sibling? Tell us what you need.
sister, and she's saying that the turtle is special to the water. To the what? Water.
Oh, turtle is special to the water, Aaron made. Okay. Next. And I apologize for blocking our artists, but I'm not terribly good at this.
My name is Teddy, and I made a dog.
Okay, so Teddy made a dog, which is by the back of the tree there.
My name is Margot, and I made a donkey. I love my donkey because it's big and it's decorated the way I want it.
Excellent. Thank you, Margot. Okay.
My name is Frankie, and I made a cat.
So Frankie has one of the, I guess, yeah, we have a couple cats. One of the cats. Okay.
My name is Maxine. I made a cat. I like it because I made it myself.
All right.
My name is Luca, and I like my pig because it is green. And it's good.
Yes.
Hello, we're so glad you're here for this celebration that we've been doing many years. The children now will take these animals home and they'll appear at their tree probably for many years. And one of the things that the graduating seniors talk about is these animals. So it's a very special thing. I'm getting too old to do this.
And Dayna, you have been doing this for
Over 50 years, probably.
over 50 years. Thank you for your wonderful ministry with our children.
Thank you.
Thank you. So these are some of the animals that might have been present at the Nativity. And we will continue to remember, celebrate, and honor them as we move through this season. And now we have some technical difficulties, as was evident from that wonderful noise we heard earlier. But we're hoping to get that all fixed. Is that?
I want to announce for those that are joining us online and for those here in person, we are going to have to reset our soundboard. So for those of us joining online, you won't hear music for just a few minutes, but we're going to sing a hymn, and by that time, we'll have restarted everything and we'll be set.
Those of you watching online, watch out for Adam doing through interpretive dance while we sing People Look East, number 226 in the gray hymnal, and also the lyrics on screen.
Only if Jasmine joins me.
We have more and more animals to the Nativity. Wow. Are we on? Yeah? Am I coming through? Awesome. So there are a number of things going on around this place that I'm going to lift up this morning. Our Alliance holiday sale continues in the lounge after the service. Please check them out. I was looking through the wonderful trinkets that are available. They make great gifts for the holiday season. Also, after the service, join our immigrant justice team in the library to learn more about Cedar Lane's work to support immigrants and refugees, and also learn more about the Afghan Adjustment Act. We have received so many toys and gifts for migrant families from the Cedar Lane community and beyond, that they have filled up 2 whole classrooms downstairs. Incredible. Our Immigrant Justice Ministry team is organizing these gifts so they can be taken tomorrow and handed out to all the families. And also they will be doing this during the week. If you're available to lend a hand, please show up here between 9 and 11, Monday through Friday. They will be doing this work together. And we also continue to receive coats and shoes for our migrant neighbors. If you're able to donate some, we deeply appreciate it. I want to take a moment to thank Diane Seifert and members of our Immigrant Justice Ministry team for this ministry that they have been doing. Thank you, Diane. Thank you. Please join us on Christmas Eve for 2 services at 4 p.m. where we will have the no rehearsal Christmas pageant, which is always fun and a bit wild, and will be supported ably and beautifully with music from our children's choir and Steve Jones. And the jazz trio are returning. We're delighted that they will be here for Christmas Eve. And at 8 p.m., join us for a more reflective service and with some beautiful music that our adult choir and our bell choir are sharing, selections from the Messiah. And then on Christmas morning, if you're hankering for being at Cedar Lane, you're welcome to join me and Reverend Ali and our guest musician David Underwood for a UU Lessons and Carols service. We also welcome everyone on New Year's Eve for our annual Labyrinth right here in the sanctuary from 6 to 9 p.m. with music from Meg Baker, who will be playing some beautiful music on the harp and piano. And then on New Year's Day, show up in your pajamas with some poetry. So don't just show up in your pajamas, bring some poetry as well for our PJs and poetry service in the chapel. And if you cannot be there and would like to share a piece of poetry, you're welcome to record a video and send it to us. The information is in the e-news as to how you may send us your videos. And last but not least, last Tuesday, December 13th, was a momentous day of celebration and commitment. I was deeply honored to be invited to join over 5,000 people on the south lawn of the White House to witness history being made as we saw President Biden sign the Respect for Marriage Act into law. Yes. Thank you to all the Unitarian Universalists at Cedar Lane and in all our congregations
who worked so hard for so many years to promote marriage equality as a human right. And thank you to all the organizers, the families, policymakers, and more who fought for the rights of LGBTQ communities, multiracial families, and stood up against injustice, hatred, and ignorance. Friends, love works. It does. And love wins. Let us now move into the space of naming and sharing our joys and sorrows in our community and beyond.
I invite you to center yourself in this moment, to literally, if you'd like, brush off the busyness and bustle of this season, to call upon the sources of love that are within, among, and around us. Notice our connections to each other as we weave this tapestry of joys and sorrows together. We lift up those in our community who are living through significant passages, the small and extraordinary milestones of life. We pause to be present to our spiritual companions and to the concerns of our own heart. Within our Cedar Lane community, we join in welcoming Paul and Vicki Strella's fourth grandson, Pierce Ransom Fitzgerald, who was born on Thanksgiving Day, to parents Brian Fitzgerald and Laura Ransom, joining brothers Henry, Forrest, and Grant. Anne and Jim Turner are thrilled to welcome their first grandchild, Ivy Olivia Zay, born December 7th, to the parents of Abby Turner and Alonzo Zay Farah. The Alakazai family welcomes their new baby, Mary Ann, who was born on December 13th, and all are doing well. We send deep sympathy to our member, Ann Meyer. Her sister, Janet Smith, from Falls Church, died on November 30th. And our caring extends beyond Cedar Lane to others whose lives are lost and whose lives are impacted by war, violence, and calamities on our nation and on the world. As we enter the silence together, you are invited to rise in body and our spirit and speak the names of the loved ones that you are holding in remembrance and care. Now we will enter the silence together. When your weeping has watered the earth, when the storm has been long and the night and the season of your sorrowing, when you have seemed an exile from your life, lost in the far country, a long way from where your comfort lies, when the sound of splintering and fracture haunts you, when despair attends you, when lack, when trouble, when fear, when pain, when empty, when lonely, when too much of what depletes you and not enough of what restores and rests you, then let there be rejoicing. Then let there be dreaming. Let there be laughter in your mouth and on your tongue shouts of joy. Let the seeds soaked by tears turn to grain, to bread, to feasting. Let there be coming home. May it be so.
Come down from the hills. Declare the fighting done. Be bold. Declare victory, even when the temple is wrecked and the tyrants have not retreated, only coiled back like a snake, prepared to strike again. Come down. Try to remember a life gentled by daily acts of domestic faith, the pot set to boil, the bed made up, the table set in calm expectation that when the sun sets, we will still be here. Come down and settle, unlearn the years of hiding, light fires that can be seen for miles, that dance and spark and warm the frozen marrow. Set lamps in the window. Declare your presence, your loyalties, the truths for which you do not expect to have to die. It would take a miracle, you say, to carve such a solid life out of the shell of fear. I say, you are the stuff from which such miracles are made. Please rise now in body and/or in spirit to sing together number 223, Rock of Ages.
Let us take into our hands a Christmas candle, a solstice candle. This is a night of ancient joy and ancient fear. Those who have gone before us were fearful of what lurked outside the ring of fire, of light and warmth. As we light this fire, we ask that the fullness of its flame protect us each from what we fear most and guide us towards our perfect light and joy. May we each be encircled by the fire and warmth and love and by the flame of our friendship with one another. On this night, it was an ancient custom to exchange gifts of light, symbolic of new light and of sun. Therefore, make ready the light. Light of star, light of candle, firelight, lamplight, love light. Let us share the gift of light.
Spirit to sing the Winter Solstice chant, number 1063, in the teal hymnal and also on screen. In this season of giving and generosity and gratitude, I want to take a moment to thank everyone for the many ways that you engage with and share your many gifts to co-create our beloved multi-generational religious community that is Cedar Lane Unitarian Universalist Church. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as this year comes to a close, we invite you to consider making a special year-end gift to Cedar Lane as you are moved. Your help will help us start the new year well prepared for the opportunities and challenges that lie ahead of us. But today, we share our Share the Plate offering with a community organization that is in alignment with our mission and ministry, the Barker Foundation. I would like to welcome Sue Holler, who's the Executive Director of the Barker Foundation, to come and share with us some of what the work of the Barker Foundation is. Let us welcome Sue Holler. Good morning.
Wow, did I feel welcomed? Do I feel welcomed in this space? From the moment I drove through the driveway and was greeted by this beautiful setting to the moment I walked through the door and was greeted by Lori Richardson, who I didn't know previously but just felt so warmly welcomed by. And what I'm here to tell you about today is really about welcoming. As Pastor said, I am from the Barker Adoption Foundation. I am privileged to lead this organization that was founded in the DMV in 1945. We are a comprehensive adoption and mental health services provider. We are there for the men and women who are facing unplanned pregnancies and wish to explore making an adoption plan. We are there for the orphan children around the world who we help bring to the United States to be welcomed by families in our community who are committed to adopting them and supporting them for a lifetime. Most near and dear to my heart is Project Wait No Longer. It's about welcoming. It's about the 22,000 kids every year who leave the foster care system without a permanent family. There are 200,000 kids right now in foster care, close to 200,000, who are legally free for adoption. 22,000 every year leave the system to the streets, literally. This is not a fault of their own. These are kids who are born into situations where we, as a society, in the form of our government, says, you're not being well cared for, we're going to do better by you. And we don't. We don't. We fail these kids. Institutions, governments, agencies are not supposed to raise kids. They don't thrive. The 9 kids that I saw here this morning represent 22,000 kids who this year will age out. The outcomes are dire. 50% will immediately become homeless. Substance abuse runs rampant, domestic violence, the cycle gets repeated, and again, by no fault of their own. So, one kid at a time, we welcome them, we put smiles on their face, and they come in the form of families that we've recruited. And Taylor, my colleague, is here today, and she's going to be in the back to tell you about the families that we're seeking. It may not be you, but it may be someone you know. Be an ambassador for these kids, please. We need families to support them. The other thing that we do, and it is no secret, you pick up a paper, you know a friend. We are struggling as a society with respect to mental health. And these kids in particular have unique needs. And we are there for a lifetime for them. We offer comprehensive adoption services. We are the only provider in the county that takes insurance for those services that are specialized in meeting the needs of kids who've had abuse and trauma in their history. So help me help these kids feel welcomed as you have helped me feel so welcome today in your community. Thank you.
Thank you. There are many ways to give. You can give by text, online, mail your check, or place your love offering in the plate, or use PayPal. You know the drill. However you choose to give, we're deeply, deeply grateful for your generosity and support, especially to support the important work of the Barker Foundation. Our offering will now be given and gratefully received.
We
Wow. Yes. Wow. Spellbinding. People were just spellbound here, choir. That was amazing. Thank you, members of the choir. Jasmine, for that beautiful piano with the singing, and Adam, what a joyous and wonderful way to share this beloved Christmas song, carol, to usher in this holy season. Thank you. So, Holy Night has become one of the most beloved Christmas carols that is sung all over the world during this season. But did you know how radical and justice-oriented this song is? Or how it intersects with our Unitarian Universalist history? Did you know that? You do? Well, those of you who know that can go and have coffee or chocolate. The rest of you can stay. Yeah, don't rain on my parade. There I was, kind of creating the perfect rhetorical question to get myself started, and then you say yes. Anywho, this morning I'd like to explore the journey of how this song developed and evolved into be this beloved Christmas carol that we all love during this season. So the story begins in a small town in France in 1847 when a Catholic priest asked a member of his parish, the wine commissioner and poet Placide Cappeau de Rocamore, to create a poem for the Christmas Mass. Although not particularly religious, Placide readily agreed to write a poem and was actually honored to be asked. So he used the Gospel of Luke to guide him and began by imagining the night of Jesus' birth. The wonder and awe of that moment inspired him, and he completed his poem Cantique de Noël on a stagecoach ride to Paris. Now, Cappeau
really liked his poem and decided it needed to be set to music. So he turned to his friend, Adolphe Charles Adams, an acclaimed composer who was also Jewish. Now, while Adams really did not believe in the theology and the beliefs expressed in the poem, he did feel that it was such a beautiful poem. And so he set it to music, and 3 weeks later, at midnight mass on Christmas Eve, Cantique de Noël was performed to great success. Now, the song went on to become a really popular Christmas favorite in the Catholic community in France until Capot left the church to become a socialist. And it was discovered that Adams was Jewish. So Catholic church leaders declared the song, and I quote, unfit for church services because of its lack of musical taste and total absence of the spirit of religion. That's right. And so for the next 20 years, the church would not permit the song to be sung publicly. But you see, they could not erase the imprint it had already made on the hearts of the people of France, who continued to sing it in their homes and on the streets. And now comes the Unitarian twist in the story. In the late 1830s, John Sullivan Dwight, a graduate of Harvard Divinity School, was called to serve what is now the Unitarian Society of Northampton and Florence. Now, despite showing great promise for the ministry, Dwight left the pulpit in less than a year because he was terrified of public speaking. He actually used to have panic attacks every time he had to stand up and preach. But Dwight was a strong writer and a deep lover of music. And so he went on to create a musical journal, which became quite popular all over the U.S. and even in Europe. Reverend Dwight was also active in the Transcendentalist movement, including serving for a time as director of Brook Farm, a Transcendentalist commune in Massachusetts. That fizzled out. So one day, in 1855, Dwight received a copy of Cantique de Noël, and he found the music strange and was captivated by the lyrics in the way it tied the ancient story of the stable and the stars and the shepherds and the birth and, of course, Jesus' radical message of love. Dwight was also an ardent abolitionist, and he strongly identified with the lines of the little-known third verse. Truly, he taught us to love one another. His law is love, and his gospel is peace. Chains shall he break, for the slave is our brother, and in his name all oppression shall cease. So for Reverend Dwight, the carol became an anthem against racial injustice and evil. And keeping the original meaning intact, he translated the lyrics into a hauntingly beautiful English text and published it in his journal as O Holy Night, which quickly found favor in the U.S., especially in the North during the Civil War, and became just as controversial. Some people were quite upset What does Jesus have to do with slavery and the politics of sugarcane and the economy of cotton, they wondered. What does Christmas have to do with justice? Because O Holy Night was intended like a spiritual hymn that was supposed to give us all the warm and fuzzies that go with the season, right? And here was these controversial lyrics that were lifting up a social injustice which was very alive and present in that time. And here we are. O Holy Night sounds so sweet and sentimental now when we sing it, but from a person writing out of his own insecurity and depression, it was a powerful indictment, a clarion reminder of what is possible. So I think of Reverend Dwight striving towards some kind of hope, doubting his own power, possibly his own worthiness. He couldn't even do his job, listening in the winter dark for music that wasn't yet there, straining to hear the comfort of the song that wasn't yet written, and then writing it. His illumination of the radical and revolutionary theology of love underneath this simple story continues to serve as a blessing to the world. So the story of O Holy Night, like the Christmas story, is a reminder to us about a story of outsiders, outcasts, and broken people showing up at the manger, frayed at the edges, despite all the grief and pain, trials and tragedies, and still saying yes. Yes to the rebirth of hope, of love, of peace, of joy. This song is a reminder that we can take peace even as we know wars and rumors of wars. That we can take heaven even as we know of the hell that exists among us. That we can take joy even as we know pain and loss. That it is never too late to live. It is never too late to love. It is never too late to rejoice, to fall on our knees and sing with the angels, for each child that is born is a holy night. And this, my friends, is what I celebrate each Christmas. This is what I hear in the words of O Holy Night or Joy to the World, the divine birthright of our collective souls. To feel worthy, to have hope, to love and to be loved, to struggle for justice and liberation, and to claim and sing joy to the world. Amen and amen. Please rise in body and or in spirit to sing with joy, joy to the world. Our benediction is a favorite that I lift up from time to time during this season from our colleague, the Reverend John Gibbons. The Lost and Found pet notice reads as follows. Lost, one large and lively, multicolored, nondescript mutt. Ragged left ear, one-eyed, three-legged, missing tail. Answers to the name Lucky. Reward, beloved. And so the holiday is upon us, large, lively, multicolored, and hard to describe. The celebrations are a bit worse for wear, sometimes shabby, oft abused. We, the celebrants, at least those above a certain age, are a bit dog-eared ourselves. And some of us bear the scars of unfestive days past. Nonetheless, the old bounding mutt of December still answers to the name Lucky. Despite all that is missing and all that is too much, there is in this season an abiding delight that we are still alive, still sniffing, still licking hands and faces, still barking at the moon, still risking life, limb, and tail, and still able to sleep and dream curled warm on the rug. We are all disfigured. Life has taken its huge toll. We are lucky to be living in these beloved days and beloved nights. So, friends, may we find delight, and may delight also find us, because there is a reward. Go in peace, go making peace, living gently, loving mightily, and bowing to the mystery. Please be seated for the postlude.